Hello there, Ethan. All right, fantastic work. Thanks for reminding me. I think there's just a mix-up. Sorry about that mix-up. Anyway, let's have a look. The issue of education in the globe has become the issues of education systems or the education system in the globe have become extremely important due to the innovation of teaching and learning methods. Good start. Good topic sentence. Despite how the world has traditional schooling systems, also the modernization of education systems has vital, crucial. No, we choose one or the other. Okay? Vital and crucial are synonyms. So which are we going to use? So also the modernization of the education system is vital or is crucial. You see, this essay will discuss both issues using examples of private tuition from the UK and the education system in South Africa to demonstrate points and to demonstrate points and prove the argument. Okay? Firstly, although most of the developed countries depended on traditional education systems, alternative methods exist, such as private teaching at home or small groups at institutions. Very good start. Let's start with a conjunction. Genius. Firstly, although this, we also have this. But remember, practice the use of your conjunctions, okay? Because you like 90% there, okay? So I want those to be perfect when it comes to exam time. If you want IESA, send me 5 sentences practicing the use of although. Research it, do some exercises, and then send me your sentences and I'll correct them, okay? Firstly, although most of the developed countries depended on traditional education systems, alternative methods exist, such as private teaching at home or small groups at institutions. Genius. This is due to the fact that some students are unable to cope with the teaching methods in school and often struggle to understand the context-based learning. Good. For example, recent studies from a UK education panel have shown that 75% of students are taking private tuition at home, performed excellent exams. Who are taking private tuition at home performed excellent in exams compared to pupils only attending classes in school. Very good. That wasn't an easy thing to communicate, but you did it very well. So good work there, Isa. Therefore, modernization methods of education is an appropriate option to promote the performance of the students. Fantastic. Logical argument, not overly complex, effectively communicated and clearly communicated. So well done there, Isa. Great paragraph. Secondly, traditional methods of education systems of the education system have a negative impact on students. This is because the classical approach urged all students to be taught in the same boring environment, and those not learning quickly tend to fail. Okay, let me read this again. Secondly, traditional methods of education often have a negative impact on students. Good. This is because classical approaches urged all students to be taught in the same boring environment, those not learning quickly tend to fail. Good. Or tended. Okay, because we're putting it in the past, so let's keep it all in the past. Tended to fail. For instance, a study from the Ministry of Education in South Africa shows that 7 out of 10 undergraduate students in old-fashioned universities dropped out of their course in comparison with other modern learning methods. Okay, dropped out of their course. Would have been fine. Okay. Yeah. I would have just deleted that. Or you'd need to rephrase it, or even better, just use 2 sentences. But I think the best way would be what I'm going to say now. So, for instance, a study from the Ministry of Education in South Africa shows that 7 out of 10 undergraduate students in old-fashioned universities dropped out of their course in comparison with just 2 out of 10 in other modern learning institutions, or compared with just 2 out of 10 in universities with modern methods. But it's still really long. So is there a better way we could have done this? If you'd have just deleted that, that would have been okay. All right? Dropped out of the course. Fine. As a consequence, the impact of traditional ways of teaching is harmful to those who are seeking higher qualifications. Good. To conclude, although many countries adopted traditional methods of schooling, it is not the best approach to improve students' performance. Very good. Or have adopted. Present perfect, because it's true now, and it was true in the past, and it's true up until this point in time. If we would just say adopted, it means they adopted it then, they've stopped adopting it now, and they don't use it anymore, which is not the case. So good essay there. Crystal clear. I think this is easily a 6.5. Hopefully you did write it in 1 hour. 40 minutes, sorry. If not, we might be struggling later. Let's have a look at your academic task. 3 pie charts compare the distribution of spending money in 3 areas in the UK in 2014. Expenditure would be better, because spending money can get confused to what children get, you know? Here's your spending money for the week. So just be careful there. Generally, the 3 regions spent most on education: Yorkshire, Lancashire and Derbyshire respectively. Good. You can be clearly seen that Derbyshire spent approximately 40% of the money on environment, while Yorkshire and Lancashire spent 35% each. Would have been good there, but it's fine. That's good. Good observation. We've grouped it and we've made a comparison, so very good. And it's crystal clear, so well done. Well done. Like Yorkshire, Lancashire spent about 10% on social services. Good, but Derbyshire had the minimum expenditure on it. We could have linked these together just because it's a short sentence. The minimum expenditure. Yeah, fantastic this. The 3 regions spent the same proportion on environment. Didn't we say that before? We said something, so be careful about repetition there. What could we say to avoid repetition? Well, we can say the minimums and the maximum. Which is the largest section on the graph? I think you may have mentioned that before. Which is the smallest then? Okay. Moreover, also are spent, no. Moreover, all 3 counties spent the same amount on other. Regarding the leisure, Yorkshire and Lancashire spent about 30%, while Derbyshire spent 40%. Good. Overall, each region has a favourite section to spend the money on. Don't need it. According to the 3 pie charts, Yorkshire and Lancashire spent a lot on education, and Lancashire spent a lot on education, comma, and Lancashire spent the most on leisure. Interestingly, the 3 areas spent the same amount on education. Good. The minimum expenditure on social services was by Derbyshire. Very good. Organisation. This needs to be a little smaller, and we need to avoid some of the repetition. Okay, this needs to be shorter, not smaller, sorry. And also, IESA, I guess this would come back to your planning. Okay, try and clearly identify what you're going to be doing before you start, so we don't put extra thoughts in our summary. So I'll give you like a textbook summary. We could say, overall, each region has a favourite section to spend money on, comma, Yorkshire and Lancashire education, Derbyshire leisure. I can't remember the exact proportions. Okay, and then we say what each county preferred to spend the most on, and then we might as well say which counties spent the least on. Okay, and we could have another opportunity for grouping. So just bear that in mind for your next summary. All right, so Keep on going. You're doing well. Remember to send me back these corrected ones and your sentences regarding although. Okay, and if you want to carry on, and if you want to maintain your writing ability and continue improving, have a look at the links. All right. Have a good day, Isa. It was good talking with you the other day. Merry Christmas, buddy. All the best.